have a bad reputation and all that, and the truth of the matter is, I don't know for sure if it's the Greys. From everything I can put together, that's who it is. Um, but it's never come up. No one's ever come and introduced themselves and said, "Hey, AlienPhotog, I'm a Grey." No, it's not. It's not like that. It'd be like me introducing myself as one of the Whites when introducing myself. I know they come from the general area of Orion, or Orion's belt. The middle star is especially significant. Apparently, quite the place, um, but it seems to fit. You know, I just I think people get a little skittish on things, and just because we don't understand them is what I think happens. And there's also beings out there that pretend to be other beings and do terrible things and all that. But um, point being, I just recently learned that 10% that they splice in with the hybrids is not entirely Grey, not even close. Is a huge grab bag, essentially, of all of the best, most admirable traits in life around this part of the universe. And what that area that confines to, I have no clue. But so that was interesting to learn. And that's one drawing I wanted to show you guys there. And I'm going to put in another couple other drawings of the hybrid tubes and stuff like that. And I can't draw, so I'm curious to see how they come out, because I could kind of draw when I did that. Alright, this next one here, I've had to blot a lot of this out because it has significant dates to me, and I'm trying to remain anonymous. But this was essentially me discovering that my numbers added up to match each other in every way, including, you know, every number of humans assigned. My birthday, the time I was born, even as far as the longitude and latitude I was born, I believe. Other numbers I've been given, they all, for me, added up to certain numbers. And that's what this is me basically crunching all those numbers just in this weird fit of mathematical spasticness. And the most amazing part of what I found about this was that, and I did this then not only with my numbers, but my wife's and my children's and my parents', and there was a sequential way that it added up, like leading up to me and then past to my kids. Like everybody has an inherited set of numbers, which sounds crazy, but here's all the work. And of course, I wish I could leave all the dates and my personal information on there, but I'm not going to do it. Sure as shit, that's how it ended up. And looking at this one again, it kind of blows my mind again. But I don't think this is just me that this works for. It may be all hybrids, but you know, this is part of that elaborate plan that I was trying to explain to you guys a little bit, that I see so clearly. The entire universe, well, the solar system, and certainly as you break it down into human life and our numbers, is by design. There's just no other way around it. But what I'm trying to say here, and I'm doing a terrible job of it, I'm sorry, when I look at this stuff, I tend to get drawn back into that state that I don't speak as well, but my mind, it's because my mind is just clicks on a really strange level, and it's just calculating all sorts of shit real fast. So that's why I'm not speaking as well as I usually do in this. But I'm saying here, I mean, for instance, say my number was 777, which it wasn't, but my mother's number was something like 776, and my father was 775 or something like that, and then it would pass on to the next generation, my kids too. They would then be 779, or you round up to an 888 or something like that. But there's a sequential order that it went to that implied clearly to me that there's some sort of genetic inheritance of these numbers, and they're extraordinarily important to your life. How to read them, I don't know. But it sort of mathematically proves that. Well, it has a lot of implications, really, guys. I mean, I'm curious to see how many people are going to follow this one. Alright, so here's the next one. And man, I'd love to hear from another hybrid or abductee who's really good at math, and I'm good at, man, I got really far on this stuff, but I couldn't quite crack it at the end. But I sort of came to the point where I figured I'm trying to sort of backwards engineer God's master design for the solar system at least, and probably the universe, and thought, well, screw it. I mean, I thought there was some sort of futuristic prediction type of thing that I could do with this, and I never got that to work out. But So here's another weird one with all the numbers, and I call these number storms. Now you can maybe see why. And I don't know what almost any of this means. If you look kind of towards the middle there, you see what was the Freemasonic symbol, and those guys have reasons for doing everything. So I was trying to figure out why the G in the middle. Figure being the seventh letter and all that, and I obviously came up with something here, and essentially what I came up with was, it sure made me wonder what the heck is under the pyramids, because it sure seemed to imply somehow with all the numbers crunching this, and I wish I could explain this to you again, but I couldn't. I can just sort of give you what it came to with me. And you can see on the bottom here, this is my wife's handwriting. Even she got involved in this at a point, because she even saw the pattern too, and this is really not up her alley. All this number storm stuff, she would kind of listen to them, but even me, it was hard to follow, and man, I was really into it. But this is the sort of information that just spills out sometimes. So if you have any of this stuff, if you would be so kind to share it with me, maybe we can compare notes. And on this website, I'm gonna put a lot of fun stuff up there. I really am. I got some ideas. I'll tell you that in just a second. Now, it doesn't always come out in the form of numbers. Sometimes it's ancient history. And I had this weird deal one night where, like I've mentioned before, there's good and bad sides, and I'm kind of cursed with some of the bad stuff because of some things in my ancestry that they did. So I never really know, well, I know now a lot more. I can sort of feel it out better, but I didn't know then when I would channel something if it'd be from the good side or the bad side. So I got this feeling that I needed to channel something, put it in writing, and I'd been saying, I've been talking with my wife, saying, I need to get something out on paper. And like, it's going to be another language. I'm not going to be able to read it. It's going to be Greek or some sort of ancient writing. And sure enough, I got the feeling one night, and I remember saying it. I need to write the word TH, and then it kind of looked like an O, but it had an interconnected area there, and then TH, and I'm going to write this on another sheet of paper and scan it in so you guys can see it, and that was to be the title. And at that point I was pretty scared, because I knew that was part of that language, and I really didn't know what was coming out, so I just kind of was going to let it be and didn't let it go, and I should have. But much to my surprise, I wrote exactly the name of who apparently the Egyptians saw as their main god from all the research I've done. The name is Thoth, which really, that symbol in the middle is a Greek symbol that represents the letters TH. So really what it is TH, TH, TH is what that's saying, which is probably just the is all it was pronounced as, if it was pronounced at all. But he was their highest god, and so I started looking into him, and then what I realized is at some point this Earth changed orbits. We were originally at a perfect 360-day orbit. And think about that too. Perfect 360-day orbit. And then we got bumped out somehow to 365.2425 days. And the best reason I found for that was this asteroid impact, which a lot of biblical scholars will say was the biblical Sodom and Gomorrah. But it was recorded by Sumerians, apparently. And when you correlate that, boy, I wish I had the brain power today to do it, but when you correlate all that, if you go back, I believe it's 5,125 years, the Mayan calendar counts down up to this date, December 21st, 2012, that we're all kind of looking at, wondering what the heck's going to happen. When you go back, and then you add you have to add Venus cycles into this too. And what a Venus cycle is there's a perfect synchronization between the planets Earth and Venus. Every 8 Earth years is 13 Venus years. Now in that, when they're at their closest points, if you trace it, it traces a pentagon or pentagram, which is really why a lot of the occult stuff does that. And I don't like to go too deep into that stuff, because they like their secrets, but yeah, if you think about that, so here's how it played out, and I've said this in another video, I'm going to try to explain it one more time. What the Greeks said that Thoth, this guy that I channeled his name apparently somehow, and it freaked me out because it was in the weird writing. I wonder what the heck would have come out that night if I would have let it go. I wish I would have.